Blessings and welcome to today's Law Enforcement Daily Devotional. Today we're back in Numbers chapters 16, 17, and 18. And we talked about rebellion yesterday, and we see more rebellion today. And the Israelites just, again, they are the picture of this kid. We talked about being 4 and 5 years old yesterday, but man, I think we're like in the terrible twos or the tantrums of the threes or whatever you want to come up with. But they just keep on and on and on, and God keeps disciplining them. They're a very spirited child, and God is trying to gain control of them for their protection. We know that as a child, as we grow up, when our parents set boundaries for us, it is for our protection, and we learn from that. And God is setting boundaries here, and the Israelites keep trying to push the boundaries and do the things they're not supposed to. Today we see this power play. Korah is a very prominent figure amongst the Levites, and other Levites and other important prominent figures in Israel join him in going to Moses and Aaron and try and take power. I mean, it is a rebellion. They want to take over the priesthood and the leadership of Israel, and they don't like the decisions that Moses is basically giving out that he gets from God. So it's not rebellion against Moses or Aaron. It's literally rebellion against God. So God has to take care of it, and he does in a very swift act, not just one act. I mean, we see Korah. There's basically three rebellious leaders. There's Korah, there's a guy named Dathan, and Abiram, and these three guys lead this rebellion of 250 other prominent figures. And the three of them are these guys and their family. After God does a little test and shows them by the censer and the fire, God chooses. And anyway, these three guys and their families are swallowed up by an earthquake. So, man, we're like, okay, God disciplined and he took care of that rebellion, and man, surely all the people will fall in line, right? The very next morning, it tells us the people came and they rebelled against Moses, and they were angry because these leaders and elders of Israel were killed, and man, they're ticked. And God, in his infinite wisdom and his love, his mercy, his justice, he has to discipline them again. He sends a plague, and 14,700 of them die in this plague. And who steps in and prays for them but Moses, the humble Moses, the leader of Israel, and God stops the plague. Then, just to settle the whole thing, God says, tell one person from each of the tribes of Israel to bring their staff, and tell Aaron to bring his staff, and I'm going to settle this authority issue of who the priest is. I'm going to settle it once and for all. So they get these 12 staffs, and they hide them away with the knowledge that, and all the people are watching this, and they wrote their names on their staffs. The person or the tribe that God chooses their staff will blossom. So you've got this staff, this wooden staff, and the next morning you're going to see it sprout roots and blossom. I mean, it would be incredible. It's obviously a miracle from God. So the next morning, Moses pulls the staffs out, and sure enough, it's Aaron's. And not only does it blossom, but it's blossomed and it's got almonds hanging from it. I mean, this thing's like it's an almond tree all of a sudden, but God comes out in a big way and says, I want to make it clear. Aaron's the priest, and his family's the priesthood, and that settles it. And then God goes on in chapter 18, and he sets down even more rules and regulations for the Levites, and says, look, here's your duties and responsibilities. Because y'all argued and questioned which one of our Levite families is going to take over the priesthood, I'm going to tell you now what your specific duties are, so there's no question about it. They're the priest. You're the ones who carry this. You're the ones who clean this. And he sets out the discipline. He sets out the rules and the regulations for the Levites from that point on. And there will be no more questioning from here on out. So God's continuing to build Israel's discipline. He continues to build their structure with their duties and responsibilities. He continues to build on their relationship. And as we see, he continues to reveal his character to them so they can know him more. And that's that's my goal as I grow older. I want to know God's character more. I want to grow daily in my relationship with God. And that is what God is revealing to the Israelites here. And I love that we're seeing it. Tomorrow we're in Numbers 19, 20, and 21. Read ahead, come back, and let's discuss what we see in Numbers. And until then, be safe.